If you're like me, you're an ATV and side-by-side enthusiast, and maybe you've noticed the e-bike movement starting to really pick up. You know how your cordless screw gun is way more powerful than you thought it would be? That little mini lithium battery is just amazing. Combine that feeling with the grin you get on your face when you yank a trailer with your diesel truck. That's how I would describe the 2016 Haibike sDuro All-Mountain Pro powered by Yamaha. First off, make no mistake, the name Haibike. No, it's not a fly-by-night, made-in-China company that mass produces copycat products like we've had to deal with in the ATV industry. This is quality stuff. Haibike is made out of Germany. Think more of the lines of Mercedes-Benz. The company's been around for 20 years making high-quality products, and since 2010, they've been making e-bikes, concentrating on the e-mountain bike scene. In fact, they're the pioneers of the e-mountain bike. This year, there's 48 unique choices that you can make, so this company means business, Haibike. I've been riding off-road bicycles since I was about 10 years old, but never before have I been more into the sport, and it's all because of this incredible piece of off-road equipment. I've gone from Ohio to Florida and rode all states in between. I put about 500 miles on this bike, rode in great epic places, really fun adventures. DuPont Trail System comes to mind in Brevard, North Carolina. I've gone to Asheville, North Carolina, Greenville, South Carolina, the Smoky Mountains, the Appalachians, Northern Georgia, Tallahassee, Florida. Anyway, with that 500 miles, I've got something to say about the bike for sure. This isn't a 5-minute recap, ride it through the parking lot and tell you what I think. I've gotten to know the bike really well, and I want to get to that in a minute, but before I do, let me give you a grand tour of this baby. For the frame, you've got aluminum aircraft quality here. This is 6061 material, and it comes in sizes small, medium, large, and extra large. This is the large one. I love how they've done this integrated inlets for the cable systems with grommets, so there's nothing going to cut your frame and stuff. It's a 4-point link system. This is a little bit of a relaxed geometry. You can see it's a little bit shorter wheelbase, and it makes for a real comfortable ride, real nimble. You're kind of up on the bike and not crouched down all day with this thing. Let's move on to the engine. This is the top of the line sDuro. Xduro is the Bosch motor. sDuro is all the Yamaha motor, which I happen to like better. And I'm a little bit partial to Yamaha because they make ATVs and side-by-sides, but ignore that. I like the Yamaha motor for different reasons. I've ridden both the Xduro and the sDuro. Get this motor for $1,000 cheaper and I like it better. And the best part of the Yamaha engine is that it's got the zero cadence takeoff. So as soon as you start pressing on the pedals, it's going. And I like that. It's low end power, and you can really get on the bike and start climbing a hill right away. And the really good performance package out of this Yamaha. You can see there's two front rings here. You've got, this is what I like about the Yamaha, many reasons. One of them is it's traditional mountain bike stuff. You've got, you take this to a shop and they're gonna tune your bike up just like any other bike. So you got a 2x10, so it's a 20 speed. In the back you've got 11 to a 36 cassette here. And as you can see, they've put a nice cover on the engine here. You know, more on this engine. This is not something Yamaha put together last year. They've been making these things since 1993. That's right, mid-drive pedal assist electronic motor since 93. Also, like, you get more range out of the Yamaha. You can go 40 to 100 miles on per charge, and I don't think the Bosch will give you quite that much. So what's going on here with the Yamaha mid-drive system? It's constantly measuring your wheel speed, your cadence, and your torque. All that's happening in every 1/10 of a second to determine how much assist you should have. If you ride one, you'll know what I mean. It's addictive. You can go anywhere with the mountain bike. It's an all-terrain vehicle, basically. Moving on to suspension, this is the RockShox EI technology shock here. This is my favorite, the EI technology, electronic intelligence. It's measuring, look at this, it's a sensor on the front fork, and it can measure what the front fork, what the terrain is doing ahead of you, and telling the shock what to do at all times. So in milliseconds, it knows whether it should be open, halfway open, or all the way closed. So it's changing the dampening as you ride. And up front is your RockShox tapered 120 to 150 millimeter forks. Works quite well. Great front suspension. Moving on to the bike, another must-have on the bike is the KindShox Lev DX dropper post. And if you don't know what a dropper post is, you got to learn. This is something you're going to want. The dropper post is with a stab of the button right here. You're able to, your weight will move the seat down and get it out of the way. So you're in a much more aggressive stance. So, and then a stab of the button brings it right back up. While we're down here, here's a look at the wheel set. It's a Mavic wheel set with Mavic tires as well. They are 27.5, which I find is like the perfect size. I don't like a 29-inch mountain bike, just too big for me. And 26 is old school. So this new 27.5 I found is really nice. It just lets you glide over stuff a lot better. Moving on to the brakes, you've got some good stuff. There's oversized front and rear rotors. And here's a shot of the Deora XT brake set stuff. Good brakes, not the best in the world, but I've had no problems. And up here is the brake levers, and this is 2-finger stuff, 1 finger or 2 finger. Anytime you've got a bike that you have to use more than 1 or 2 fingers, improve your brakes. You want to have your more hand on the bar at all times, and 1 finger is better than 2 even. I'm going to show you the controls up here. This is a little remote. So this is where you can control all your functions with this. So there's 4 different modes. There's your Eco Plus, your Standard, and then your High. I usually go on High when I want to really get on it, but if I need to conserve power, it's kind of nice at any time. You don't have to pull over and stop. I can click through these at speed and know that I have enough room to get back. Here's Yamaha's battery, and they got a nice little key system here. You just put the key in and you can unlock it so nobody can get to steal your battery. Comes out this way, take your key out, and then when you want to put it back in, it's got a nice simple side technology. So you just put it in down there and click it in, that's it. Once it's clicked, you're in. And yeah, you can charge the battery while it's on the bike, or take the battery back in when you want to charge it. Really nice system. Also, for the battery, you've got this nice display. You can kind of see how much power is in the battery with a little press of the button. So Yamaha's done a really nice job with the battery technology, and it's, like I say, it's gotten even better this year. 2017 gives you a 500 watt battery instead of the 400, but they are reverse compatible, which is great. You can buy the 500 watt and put it on this same bike. I know you don't want me to talk about specs all day. How does it ride? That's the real question. Well, the fact that I don't pass up the slightest opportunity to go out and ride this bike says a lot. It's got a really relaxed ride all day kind of feel. It has a relaxed geometry. There's a 68-degree angle on the head tube, and a smaller wheelbase makes it more of a nimble machine. You can really carve through tight terrain really well with this bike, and it handles good. Not an aggressive racer type bike, but it handles really nice. At 48 pounds, no doubt about it, the bike is a little bit heavy, but the weight's down low. With the mid-drive engine down here, the battery centered, the weight is low, and you got a nice planted feel, especially going down hills. Just drop the dropper post and let that RockShox EI technology work beneath you. The sDuro all-mountain, in my opinion, is kind of the best of both worlds. You've got an all-day trail riding bike that you can go from point A to point B and have really long adventures on without getting fatigued. Kind of like a soft, comfortable 4x4 ATV, utility quad. Then, like I say, drop the KS dropper post here. This is your best friend. Drop that thing down and you've all of a sudden you're on a high performance 450 sport quad. You've got two bikes in one almost. You're lower center of gravity, you've got a longer reach, you're way more an aggressive stance, and you get two bikes in one with that. But do not get the bike without this dropper post. It's a must. I use it all the time. Get used to using it. In the 500 miles I've ridden this bike, I haven't really had that many issues either. I've gone through 3 chains, so it does chew up some chains, and that has a lot to do with the engine making a lot more torque than you would on a normal bike. Plus the Yamaha doesn't have the shift sense technology, so it doesn't ease off when you shift, and there is times when I've been on it and forgotten to do that. So if you just let up, remember to let up when you shift, ride it like a normal bike, and don't put so much wear and tear on that chain, you probably go through less. Also, I didn't replace the rear cassette the last time, and I think I'm slipping the chain on the gears, and that caused this crazy air you see right here. And the air message you're seeing here isn't a big deal. I had it cleared in a matter of 3 minutes. I didn't take it to the dealer or anything. I just went to YouTube and searched for that air and saw a video on how to do it, and it was simple. Just follow the directions and clear the air myself. Didn't have to take it anywhere. I've discovered in the moto industry that there's not all that many people that even know what an e-bike is. A lot of them might heard of an e-bike, and they look at it as a basket in the front and you ride it down the sidewalks in cities. So they don't quite get an idea of the real capability of this e-mountain bike by Haibike. So I decided to give the bike to a few key friends and get their first impression of it. I mean, I was just really curious as to some of the sections that had, some steep ups, how I was going to handle those, and especially the rocks. I didn't know how I was going to handle the rocks, because the rocks are pretty challenging, going up. But with this thing, it was like butter, just hot knife through butter, just went right up them. This is almost a blend of a motocross bike and a mountain bike, in the with the assist. It's got this motor on it when you need it. And I raced most of my whole life. Started racing amateur, and then raced pro for 1 year. And I just still ride motocross now. And just one thing about this bike I noticed is you can think about your technique and just your where you're going on the trail and such, because you don't have to think about shifting gears, because I did 2 shifts out there on the whole thing. Yeah, I love the speed of it, and just the assist is awesome. It's so seamless almost. It's not, I was worried it was going to be a kind of a jerky sort of thing, but it's just very seamless. It's just an awesome ride. It really is. Actually, I don't want to give it back to you. Can I have it?
This thing, I'm telling you, it's kind of unbelievable. Needs some bark busters, and it's the first time I got arm pump on a bicycle.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, it's unbelievably strong climbing. Doesn't take near as much energy. It's really a blast, and you're going so many different lines that it's like the fast guys on a racetrack. They go lines that we don't go, and you're swinging wide and going places you've never been on the trail. Suspension worked awesome. I mean, you can bust roots. I mean, you can aim for them, instead of dodging them. Actually, I find myself wheeling over stuff that you can never wheelie over on a bicycle because you're too exhausted, but you're doing stuff that you wouldn't do on a bicycle. Right. I mean, you still got to work and still get a good workout. You save some energy that you burn up on the climbs, for downhills and speeding up in the turns. But, if I had a little time to get the bike set up better, it's unbelievable what it'd do. It's impressive.
Everything about it just it felt really natural. Really, honestly, after a while, you kind of just forget it's there and just pay attention to what you're doing, pay attention to your riding. I think the 4-bar suspension too, that was spot on. Of course, popularized by Specialized bikes. Now, patent being open, everybody is using it, and has to be the best suspension platform on the market today. And everything, the collet fittings, the rocker arm, It just looks real beefy, held up just fine to what we were doing today, but I have no doubt if you took this guy out to Utah or Colorado, anywhere out west where you get a lot more of the sandstone and the rock, you could just cruise this thing through, not worry about anything breaking on it. Just looks really, really well built.
We were able to do the whole track on a Haibike, so it made a big help, you know, that first lap, and I knew what to expect, and a lot of other people didn't know what to expect because they don't walk it, you know. Pedaling up hills and everything makes everything so much faster, so, and then when I'm done, I'm not tired or exhausted after walking or even riding a regular bicycle, you know, so it's actually fun too.
My first thought when I first pedaled the Haibike was, I just was like, oh, future. Like I really felt like I was in the Back to the Future movie, something I would never expect from a bicycle. The awesome thing about the Haibike or the e-bike is just the fact that you can cover so much ground, like so say a whole lap or even more if you wanted to, in a smaller amount of time and use less energy, because you know when you're here on a Saturday and you want to pedal the track, you are probably trying to conserve your energy because you got a race tomorrow.
Yeah, it was cool. Pedal assist definitely kicks in and takes over eventually, but definitely a nice attribute to the mountain bike. Very neat platform. 150 travel, 27.5. Works good.
To me, this is, you know, I've seen it with a few people that have gotten pedal assist bicycles recently, where they're saying, you know, maybe they don't technically have to pedal as hard to go the same speed, but it's allowing them to ride longer, ride farther, get out and explore trails that otherwise have kind of been off limits to them because of their limits, either of their riding ability or of their fitness. So to me, you know, it's a great bike, it's a great platform, and I can definitely see that the sky's the limit for, you know, for this bicycle and others like it in the future.
It's simple. There's no hassles. There's no neighbors complaining about noise. Throw the bike in the truck, go to adventures. There's ride spots all over the place. Husband and wife adventures. So many more people are able to go with you than wouldn't have before because they can keep up. I want to ride more. I'm in better shape than I was before I got the bike. It's also made me a way better rider on my Cannondale. The speeds you're going on this bike, you're a more aggressive rider. You're able to tackle terrain. You're not focusing on pedaling and the struggle of getting up a hill. You're cruising up that hill at speed. It is dirt bike meets mountain bike with way more of an emphasis on real bicycle stuff here. The only cheating going on here, I believe, is the fact that I put 500 miles on this bike and I didn't change the oil. I didn't mess around with air filters, no valve adjusting. I didn't pack a silencer in the back for the exhaust. I didn't go through a piston and ring set. I put that many miles on this bike. When I'm done riding it, I lean it up against the garage wall and walk away. It's pretty amazing. That's the kind of cheating I think is going on here. It doesn't make sense to me that we can put that many miles on an engine and nothing needs to be done. And that's pretty cool. What Yamaha's done with this PW engine is incredible. To have that kind of torque and fun and go anywhere, dirt bike meets mountain bike type of thing, but no maintenance. It's been awesome. Now, this is a 2016 model. The 2017 is a little different. It's still the sDuro mountain bike, so it's not a huge difference, but it is a little bit more of an aggressive bike than this one. The new 2017 has a little bit longer wheelbase. Also, the 2017, they went with a 3-inch tire, which I kind of am jealous. The 3-inch knobby nicks, they actually went with a better tire too, more traction. I love those tires. So that is an upgrade there, but you could put a wider tire, even just a wider front would work on this bike a lot better. Also, the 2017 sDuro line will come with the Yamaha PWX series. It's their new engine. 11% lighter. They've gone with a little bit smaller cases, and I believe they've hollowed out some of the axles inside the engine to get a little weight down. And it does make a little more torque. 80 Newton meters of torque versus the 70 on this bike. So you're going to get a little more aggressive coming out of the whole feel. Also, the PWX series, the new Yamaha motor, comes with a new display, and the Haibike works pretty close with Yamaha. They've integrated the display into this stem here, and with that they made a smaller display, which I don't know if I like. It looks like the numbers aren't quite as big, and I like I like the display I have here. I can glance and really see things, but I like where they're going. It's a little less out of harm's way, tucked in more, and probably a little safer there. And lastly, the 2017 comes with a different shock. They use the Fox Float Evo system, which is a great shock. I happen to know Fox pretty well. They make excellent shocks. But in this case, I almost think that the 2017 isn't quite the bike that this one is, because you don't get the EI technology. So it's a little trade-off there. The Fox may be so good that it's better than the RockShox. I don't know. But to me, I kind of would really hate to part with this system. It's been so awesome. It's been the best suspension I've ever ridden on a mountain bike. Also, if I convinced you maybe the 2017 is better for you, the name is different. They've gotten rid of the name at the end, and they've used all numbers. So it's the sDuro All Mountain 8.0 instead of All Mountain Pro. The 2016 Haibike sDuro All Mountain Pro retails for $61.99. I've seen them as low as $5,800 out there, and now the 2017s are out. You may be able to pick one up even cheaper. Another option, if that's out of your league and you've test ridden a e-bike, you're going to want one. You might want to get one that's a little less spec'd out, maybe a 6.0. Lastly, Haibike's warranty is pretty darn good. 5-year on the frame, 2-year on the Yamaha engine, including the battery, and 1 year on all the other components. I've linked up videos, reviews from all the key people I've selected for this video, so you can click over and watch their full reviews. And also, if you want more info, click over to haibike.com. They've got all the info on all the line, the 48 bikes. You can see everything, all the info and all the specs over there, haibike.com.